Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Tonight we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving nail design, part 1 requiring no tools and part 2 requiring scissors. So for our first step, I'm going to be putting on some O.P.I base coat, and I'll be applying 1 coat of this. If you can look closely at how I'm applying it, this is probably the best way to apply nail polish nice and smoothly, getting as close as possible to the cuticle but not flooding it. You of course also want to make sure you cap the tip, and base coat will allow you to apply any other artwork or polishes over it without having it chip off or slide off. So it's a best practice to apply whenever doing any nail design. Now for the next step, we're going to be doing these 3 French tips, and basically I'm going to be using Born Pretty stamping polish because it dries fairly quickly and is super thin. And I'm going to go on a bias and create this kind of angular French tip, and I'm going to be doing this to 2 other Born Pretty colors. So for all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in on today's short and sweet every other week episode. And for all my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. After I allow this to dry, I'm going to put on another shade of this Born Pretty stamping polish. To best explain what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to do another bias French tip, and I'm starting midway up the tip, and I'm just going to fill the rest of the bottom part in with this red shade. I'm going to continue this process on the remaining nails. And after that dries, I'm going to move on to the 3rd and final layer. So after that dries, I'm going to put on the 3rd layer of this Born Pretty stamping polish. This time I'm using like an orange shade, and again I'm going to go halfway up the red section here and do this tip on a bias. I'm just going to make sure I fill that in. This orange, it comes on a little translucent, so I just want to make sure that I make this bold enough so that it's a nice solid orange against the red and the brown. And I thought that these 3 colors would work great. And again, I'm going to be repeating this process on the remaining nails, and then we'll move on to part 2 of this design. So after this dries, this is pretty much it for the design for the no tools requirement. You can put a top coat over this, but we're going to continue on to part 2 that will really only require these striping tapes and a pair of scissors. So what I'm going to do here, I have 3 corresponding striping tapes to each of the layered French tips, and I'm just going to outline the border of each color just to emphasize the look. So this is going to be fairly simple. It will require a pair of scissors, but for the most part, this is pretty much it. If you are watching this far, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and click that like button. It'll really help my channel out, and I greatly appreciate your support. With this next color, I'm going to do the same process, and I'm going to be bordering the next layer of this French tip. Then lastly, I'm going to take this last striping tape here, and we're going to border the first French tip layer that we did today, and that will pretty much be it for the rest of this design. And for step 3, I'm going to be using O.P.I top coat, and I'm going to be putting a healthy layer of this onto each nail, making sure that I seal in not only the stamping polish that we had put down, but also seal in that striping tape that's on top of it. And that'll be it for this design. If you're watching this far, thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and click that like button. It will really help my channel out, and I greatly appreciate all your support. And for our final step, I'm going to be applying a Gelish Nourish Cuticle oil onto each of these nails and rubbing it in before I show you the final results. And here, you guys, is the end result for my Thanksgiving nail design. Part 1 requiring no tools, and Part 2 requiring just a pair of scissors. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Short and Sweet Every Other Week. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And join me again. I've got a couple of PR videos, some shorts, and another episode of Worldly Josieisms later this week. See you again next time. Thanks. Bye.